everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing my spring TBR, which no one has asked for, but frankly I feel like it needs to be asked for because I feel like I personally at least cannot get enough of videos talking about their spring TBRs, about their spring bookish recommendations, and I wanted to give you guys mine. This is not really a recommendation video, and more my TBR for spring. But to be honest, a lot of these books work really well for spring specifically because that's why I picked them. So you could also take this as a recommendation video. Because we're already like, I think half a month into spring, I have already read most of these, but I have some that I haven't. So I hope you guys will enjoy. So first up, my spring TBR, this was very high up, is Emily Wilde. Emily Wilde's Map of the Everlands, which is the second book in the Emily Wilde trilogy. I read the first one in January this year, really liked it, was a 5-star for me. I genuinely cannot recommend this series enough. Like, I really love it. I haven't read the third one yet. It came out like this month, don't remember. But I really enjoyed, or have enjoyed, these two. This one specifically is about Emily trying to make a map of the Everlands, which is very obvious by the title. I'm not gonna give you any more descriptors except for the fact that she maybe falls in love a little bit more with Wendell in the process. I really enjoyed this so much. I think Heather Fawcett is an amazing writer. The way she puts in, like, I don't know, just so much effort, so much detail in her books. I genuinely really can appreciate that in an author. Why is this a spring book for me? Because it has fairies, and fairies are really spring to me because of the flowers and the woods, yeah, the forests. And lastly, it's also about love and self-improvement. So I think that's also two things that I do think are very springy. I mean, February, is that winter technically? I was gonna say it has Valentine's Day, but spring love. In Dutch we call it lentekriebels. If there's any Dutchies watching, they'll get the reference. But yeah, I really love this book. I gave it 5 stars. I've already finished it, and I'm on the lookout for the third book to get it soon-ish so I can read it. Although they'll quote me on that, I might not get it soon-ish. It depends. I really like the character development within this, and I also adored the romance. So yeah, honestly, 10 out of 10 book. Is this my favorite over the first one? I don't think so, but I am a romance sucker, so this hit really hard as well. It's like they're at the top of my level of 5 stars basically, and this is just high up there. So this is my first book. My second, I hope you cannot hear that. There's just a machine going on outside. Are you kidding me? Okay, I hope you can hear that. If you can, I'm so sorry. The second one is one, as you can see, I'm still currently reading, and it's a poem collection, or like a collection of, well, not poems, they're also just paragraphs. Sometimes it seems even lyrical, and it's called Watering the Soul, and it's a collection of poems made to help you grow, heal, and just focus on self-love. And I got this a couple years back for my birthday, but I never actually picked it up. And I'm really glad I decided to pick it up now because it's really spring to me, because of the fact that it's very healing, it's very loving in the nature of the book, and I feel like the reset of the new year and spring as a season is very blooming, so I thought this would fit it perfectly. I have been really enjoying this. I'm currently reading this, so I haven't finished it yet, but I really have to annotate this in the future, I think, because I genuinely think this is really well written, and I think there's definitely quotes in here that I will want to like keep in my brain forever, keep stored. If I want to look at it again, I want to be able to see that. I'm not annotated on my first read. I usually don't anymore. After I annotated some books I didn't enjoy, and that makes selling them quite difficult. So instead, we're gonna annotate this on the second read. And honestly, I will definitely read this a second time. And I know that like 30 pages in, it just is that good of a poem collection. So yeah, as always, I have my notes right there. So if you see me looking over or touching the screen, that's fine. The third, and maybe my favorite so far that I've read, is Legends and Lattes, finally! Oh my goodness, I have been thinking about this book for a while. I will say, I've been thinking about it for a while. But I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get it, I don't know. Finally did, and I read it, and it was a 5-star. It's a story about cozy found family in a cafe vibe, if you get that from the lattes in the title. And it's filled with warmth and worth at the center of it. It really is a gorgeous piece of writing. Genuinely gorgeous piece of writing. For me, this felt like spring because of its cozy vibes. It has like fantasy, it's cozy fantasy, so it has like fantasy elements as well. For some reason, like fantasy feels very spring, like to me. I don't know. And this book is also just spring because it genuinely warms my heart, and the blooming of the characters and the relationships just and it fits the theme of self-growth and like a new year reset really well as well, I think, because Viv, one of the characters, is resetting her life kind of. So not even kind of, she is. So I offer you this. It is another 5-star, and why I'm all giggly while talking about this is because this is probably one of my favorite reads from this year. It is up there. This got 5 stars, and I have made a spread about it in my journal, like a scrapbooking spread. I have not stopped thinking about them. They are so cute. I'm bad with names, so I don't remember those, but it is so good, and I think it really has to fit you because I adored Viv's character, and I adored her growth within her character and a side of sapphic romance, which of course we love sapphics over here. Literal lesbian flag. And I just really love this. And if you like cozy fantasies that are not too high stakes, I offer you this. Just take it from me. Take it out of my hands. I love sharing books I love, so lend it from me. Okay, but I really loved it. It was so worth. I really liked it. Then fourth, Different Not Less. This is a book that is part autobiography and part like an advice / guide on being neurodivergent and how to deal with that. It also has little bits for people who have friends or family or just acquaintances that are neurodivergent, or people who are just interested in learning more about that. Yeah, it's recommended for that. I got this a couple years back as well, and finally started to read it this year and actually finished it. This book felt very spring to me because I was looking for something that would kind of reset what I had discovered about autism so far. I myself have autism, and I was kind of hoping that the book would kind of do a reset in my brain. Sadly, stuff isn't always that easy. I think if you gave me this book at the start of my diagnosis, so 2-3 years ago, I would have told you, wow, this is perfect. I'm learning so much. This is so interesting. I can relate so much. Like, wow, I would have been really appreciative of it. I just think I read it too late, sadly. I don't think this works for me right now because I knew a lot of the stuff that is mentioned by Chloe Hayden in the book. I already knew it. And all the tips were just very general, and I just also knew all of those already. So it was kind of lackluster for me. And yeah, so I ended up giving it 3 stars. But yeah, it fell flat, and that's okay. And I also think that Chloe Hayden, in a way, isn't autistic in the way I am, which makes it really hard to even relate to the autobiography parts. Because autism is a spectrum, so you have a lot of people with different experiences. Doesn't mean it's not interesting to read about a different experience. That's why I gave it 3 stars, because it's still interesting to me. But yeah, I will just say that for me this didn't hit as hard, and yeah, I still recommend it though, especially if you're early on in your diagnosis. Read it, because it is, for me, it was quite easy to read. The trigger warnings in here are very well done, so I offer it up still, because it is still good, I feel. Then second to last, Count Your Lucky Stars. I already talked about this book in my last video, so sorry if you saw the last video and are now clicking on this and being like, oh, again? Yes, it was on my spring TBR. I did finish this as well, and it's the 3rd book written in the Stars standalone rom-com trilogy. And it's a steamy queer rom-com about former best friends who might be each other's second chance at love. It's probably the least spring of them all, but I felt like it was not a good spring TBR without a good little rom-com on there. I am a rom-com lover at heart, and I wanted just an easy knockout book that I would pick up anyway, and make it kind of easy to take a crack and start my spring TBR off with. Even though, was this the first book I read for all of them? I think so, actually. So I'm just saying, it was fun. I ended up giving this 3 stars, but it's on the lower end of that, I think, because I already mentioned this in the other video, but the spice was quite lackluster for me, and on top of that, the 3rd act conflict felt really dragged out. So from my spring reads, this was probably my least favorite, which is crazy. Well, I just picked really good books, so this, I'm sorry, you didn't stand a chance. It's okay. It is still a good book. Like, I would still recommend this if you enjoy the type of tropes that are in this book. If you enjoy the concept of the book, why not? Why not give it a go? I'm not saying you shouldn't read this. I wouldn't not recommend it. I would just be aware of stuff going into it, that it is very spicy, that it does have a dragged out 3rd act conflict. But my brain can also be very mood reader-esque, which means that I might have not liked it right now, but maybe in like 5 years I reread it and I would like it. So we shall see. Then lastly, I have this, which I think most readers will recognize. It is Pride and Prejudice. And my mum got this for me at a second-hand English bookstore and gifted it to me and was like, here you go. This was years back. This was when I started to get back into reading. This is years back. And I haven't picked it up yet. Partly because I'm afraid, because it's a classic. And I don't know why, but that just scares me. So this is the first book on here that I have not touched yet. This is still untouched on my shelf. From what I know, this is a romance with lots of character development, and it's about falling in love. I picked this for spring because I felt like classics just fit in spring. Like if you were to read classics in any season, I feel like winter and spring would be the ones to do it. And because I hadn't made a winter TBR, and I made a spring one, I was like, well, might as well put a classic on there. I own 2 right now, 2 by Jane Austen. I own Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. And yes, I thought Pride and Prejudice would maybe be the best and the easiest to get into, just because of the fact that I genuinely think it just is going to be easier for me because it's a romance. So we hope for the best here. I hope it's good. I have heard that a lot of classics are a bit slower paced than like your average like rom-com. So I'm curious how that'll be with me, because I have a very low attention span when reading. I am very much not the easiest reader to entertain. Unless I'm just in the mood for a book, then suddenly I am just a mood reader at heart. But yeah, I really hope that I'm going to like this. And I'm really curious to see what all the hype is about. Like what people have been raving about for years. You know what I mean? Like Jane Austen, I feel like she is very like high up there on a lot of people's author lists. And especially people who do read classics. And people have said that her stuff is easier to get into. So we can hope. We can hope. I really hope I'm gonna really like this. Because the only classic stuff that I've really read is like Greek stuff. And with Greek stuff, I mean like old Latin texts or old Greek texts when I was still in high school. So this is gonna be the first real book classic I'm reading. And I really hope I'm gonna like it, because I really wanna read Sense and Sensibility as well. Because I saw Katie's reading, I think her name is. I saw her reading that, and she has been going through it slowly, but enjoying it. So I'm curious if I'll like it. This will probably be a book that I start and have at the side for like as my side read. Currently my like quote unquote side read, not my main read, is if I can pick it up, is Watering the Soul. So I'll probably wait for me to finish this to start this. But yeah, I usually have like a main read that I'm mostly obsessed with, and then a side read that if I want something different, I can start that up. But yeah, really excited to still finish these 2 up. I know I went through my TBR really quickly, as in like I've read most of these already. I've read 4 of them. That's kind of insane sound, but you know, sometimes just be like that. Sometimes you can really focus and predict what you're gonna read, and sometimes you can't. So these 2 are my final bosses, and they will probably both be side books, unless this really grasps me. But yeah, they're gonna definitely be read on the side still in the upcoming few months. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope y'all enjoyed my stack of book recommendations. Do I think that these were all very springy? No. They were my spring TBR, so I still wanted to share anyway. And yeah, I hope y'all have really enjoyed the video, and I cannot wait to see you guys next. See you very soon. Bye!